Oh boy, guys, this is the review I've been waiting to do. This is the fragrance I've been wanting to tell you about because it is so super delicious, utilizing tobacco with gourmand notes. In fact, if you caught my YouTube live with Equality Fragrances, this is a fragrance I discussed in the live there. So you probably already know what I'm talking about. It's a fragrance from a house called CARON, a very classic house from France, and a very recent fragrance from only 2 years ago. This is Tabac Exquis, this one right here. So they're basically capitalizing on their Tabac Blonde and creating new versions of tobacco-themed fragrances. So today I'm going to talk to you all about Tabac Exquis from the house of CARON. If you're curious to learn about it, then please stay tuned. Thanks so much for tuning in. This is Sebastian. Yes, this is so super delicious. You've got to get your nose on this. So this launched in 2021. I got to sample it in 2022 at the CARON stand in France, in Paris, over at the Printemps department store. There I was instantly in love with it, and I've been wanting to review it for you guys. So there are now, I believe, 4 different Tabac fragrances at the CARON. The original is Tabac Blonde, which has been around since the early 1900s, and now we've got 3 new ones, all created by Jacques, perfumer, in-house perfumer at CARON. So this is one of my favorite notes. It's tobacco. Really love tobacco fragrances. And so this utilizes or is actually mixed with a lot of gourmand notes like chocolate. So a 2021 launch. Jacques is the perfumer. I would call this an amber or a gourmand fragrance. And the fragrance is being sold at FragranceBuy. This was sent to me by FragranceBuy. But as I said, I've been wanting to review this one ever since I smelled it last year in Paris. I've been wanting a bottle to review it and let you guys know about it. In fact, when I was there, I posted an Instagram post about the new tobacco fragrances in addition to Tabac Blonde. But if you're curious to buy this one, 100 ml sells for around $150 over at FragranceBuy, which is actually in Canada. They are currently having a Canada Day sale. So there's going to be a lot of different discounted items there. You're going to go check out all the different fragrances, but make sure you really study this one because I highly recommend it. And I'm 2 years late getting to, review this fragrance because, as I said, it launched in 2021, but better late than never. This is going to be a perfect fragrance to wear come autumn and winter time. And if you love tobacco with gourmand notes, these are like given notes that I really love. Chocolate, gourmand, and of course tobacco. I like the dirty ashiness, and this is going to be perfect for you. But Tabac Exquis features notes of cinnamon bark, tobacco, chocolate accord, cocoa absolute, Labdanum Resinoid, Benzoin Resinoid, Myrrh Resinoid, Ambroxan, Jasmin Absolute, Iris Resinoid, Frankincense Hyperabsolute. So as you hear what I'm talking about, there's a lot of resins and amber notes in this. There's also chocolate plus cocoa. So we've got a kind of a chocolate overdose. And then there's that cinnamon bark, which has a very warm, spicy effect in this fragrance. And of course, the tobacco. Sure, you're going to get the dirty ashiness with this one. It really does smell like tobacco that's been burned. Kind of also like pipe tobacco. If you like the idea of pipe tobacco, because sometimes pipe tobacco can smell boozy, kind of, with warm, foodie kind of notes, this is the kind of fragrance you're going to want to get your nose on because it definitely really does remind me of like pipe tobacco that's kind of scented and has all these like unique scents and flavors attached to it. While you're smoking that stuff, you can really pick up these kind of notes. But for me, it's an overdose of cinnamon with tobacco and of course all the chocolatey touches. And as I was saying, I would call this an amber because it does settle to an amber. It has a benzoin. This is kind of vanillic. It has a lot of warmth to it. It acts like a resin, and it actually, enhances the ambery touches with the labdanum, which is what they use to create the amber accord. So labdanum, amber, and myrrh here, it really does settle to an amber base. But along the way, you have the iris. There's definitely loads of powdery touches here, really a beautiful powdery effect. And of course, it just really is intoxicating. The smell is super fabulous. And out of the 3 new the Tabac fragrances from Caron Tabac Exquis was my favorite, followed by Tabac Blanc. Of course, I said Tabac Blonde is the original fragrance, and I believe the original Tabac Blonde is female targeted, but I believe a lot of men wear it because it's definitely a leathery tobacco fragrance. But out of the new ones, the 3 new ones, Tabac Exquis followed by Tabac Blanc, really, really wonderful tobacco fragrances. I'm so happy that they do these tobacco fragrances because, you know, tobacco is great. It smells really, really great in fragrances, and it's a perfect fragrance to wear kind of in the autumn months and, of course, the winter months as well. So this is actually a fragrance that's not uber beast mode, which actually makes it perfect to wear in the autumn time. It has great lingering power, but this is not one of the ones that has extreme projection and, of course, a really big trail. Yes, it does have a trail, and of course, if you're heated up with a little bit, you know your body temp has risen. Of course, this stuff is going to project off of you, and then it's going to project with one of the most intoxicatingly, beautifully gourmand tobacco fragrance aromas. Really, really super delicious fragrance. I kid you not, if you like my tasting fragrances, you're gonna really, really love this stuff because it's super fabulous. The tobacco, the cinnamon, and of course the chocolatey touches meshed with all the resinous ambery base notes. Super, super fantastic. So I hope you guys get to try Tabac Exquis. I don't know if you guys have tried it yet or not. You know the House of Caron. The Caron has had a bit of challenging times recently, and later it was sold to another company. Now they're actually focusing on their more higher end fragrances, like fragrances that come in bottles like this. In fact, last year, not only did I experience these fragrances over at Printemps, the tobacco fragrances, I got to meet with the perfumer of this fragrance, Jacques, and really get a nice preview of the brand during TFWA duty free in Cannes, south of France. So I really, really love this house, especially Pour un Homme de Caron, which used to be one of my dad's favorite fragrances, and that fragrance means a lot to me. So that is probably the fragrance that's mostly known about Caron, and of course there's Yatagan as well. But some of these more higher end fragrances from this house are definitely worth checking out, especially Tabac Exquis. So there it is. This is my review for Tabac Exquis. I hope you guys get to go check it out and see what you think about this. And hopefully you'll take advantage of the Canada Day sale over at FragranceBuy. As I said, this was sent to me, but I requested it since I had the opportunity. I've been wanting to buy a bottle from France. I hadn't had a time, and there's no real retailers that are selling it here, but of course FragranceBuy has it. So go check it out. I have a link in the info box, and do let me know what your thoughts are on Tabac Exquis. What do you think? If you've smelled it, what do you think about it? If you haven't smelled it, what do you think about it from what I'm telling you about it today in this video? Put a comment down below so I can find out. But either way, guys, thanks so much for watching today's video. If you have any questions or comments, please do list below. Please like this video. Please share it. Follow me on Instagram and Facebook, and I'll be back with more videos very soon. Have a good one. Goodbye. Okay, let me just brief you a little bit on the 4 different tobacco fragrances from Caron. I wanted to save that as a bonus since it doesn't have anything to do with the actual review for Tabac Exquis. So Tabac Blonde launched in 1919. That's how old Caron is. Created by Ernest Daltroff. Now, I've smelled the new version of Tabac Blonde in the bottle that's similar to this, but obviously it came in a different bottle back before the brand Caron, you know, kind of rebranded and things like that. But the Tabac Blonde was focusing on tobacco, but bringing out its leather facets. So it's a very leathery fragrance. Of course, it features tobacco, carnation, ylang ylang, Turkish rose, galbanum, cloves, leather, cistus labdanum, vetiver, styrax, patchouli, and cedarwood. So I feel like it was a very unisex offering, even though it was targeted to the ladies. It's a great, great classic fragrance, and I'd like to get my hands on a bottle so I can report back on that fragrance. So they didn't launch any other tobacco fragrances until 2021, where they launched 2. Of course, I discussed Tabac Exquis with you today. I do hope you guys get your noses on that fragrance, because as I was saying, if you like my taste, you like tobacco, you like gourmand notes, you're really going to dig that stuff. And I think it's going to be perfect for autumn. I think it's an autumn fragrance, but also I think it'll smell great in the winter time. So at the same time when they launched Tabac Exquis, this one right here, they also launched Tabac Noir in 2021. And Tabac Noir, I'm not too experienced with. I have smelled it, I have enjoyed smelling it, and enjoyed the fragrance. Would love to get my hands on a bottle to speak about it on the channel. But it's another tobacco fragrance, obviously. And this time they're focusing on patchouli with black pepper, papyrus, cedarwood, vanilla, Balkans tobacco, honey, cistus labdanum, and tonka beans. Does that sound great to you guys? It's taken the tobacco into more of a patchouli direction. And then finally last year they launched Tabac BLANC, and I believe they were previewing this when I was at duty-free TFWA during that show in the south of France in October. So this is another tobacco fragrance, but going into more of a white tobacco, and it's tobacco with mate, there's bergamot, there's white tea, jasmine sambac, white musk, cocoa absolute, cinnamon, vanilla, iris concrete, iron, and iris resinoid. You know, I've smelled Tabac Blanc and I really enjoyed it. I think all of the tobacco fragrances are really going to be great, especially the latter three. They're going to be more modern, and of course Tabac Blonde, the original from 1919, is going to be very classic. So if you don't like classic fragrances, you're probably not going to like that one. If you like modern fragrances, I suggest you try these three fragrances. And if FragranceBuy sells these, definitely take advantage of their Canada Day sale. Anyway, just wanted to report on these 4 fragrances. Hopefully I can get myself bottles of these fragrances and do a review on all 4 of them. Do like a comparison and, you know, compare and contrast between all the different fragrances. Because if Tabac Exquis is this good, and I'm really enjoying how it smells, most likely the other is going to be as good as this as well. But either way, thanks so much for sticking around for the bonus content. See you tomorrow with another video. Have a good one. Goodbye.